Hey, let's talk today about raising prices and charging more. A lot of people have fear about this. A lot of people say, raise your prices. And I'm kind of one of them a lot of the time. But I know what's in between you and raising those darn prices. And there's a lot. Okay. There's just a lot. Now, I wrote an article back in 2015, something like that. And I updated it in 2021. Although the mechanics behind it haven't changed. I just wanted to get better SEO. But okay, so what happens is when you start out with a business, you tend to do a couple things. One, you're like, what's the going rate, right? And you look around and you find out what other people are charging. Okay, that's dumb. You fully well know that there are wedding photographers who charge a ton of money per engagement and those who are running along on the cheap, okay, and competing at the bottom. You do not want to do a race to the bottom. Live by price, die by price, okay? Don't do that. Figure out where the value is and who values it, right? If somebody's just looking for the lowest price, it probably means they have no discernment about what it is that you're offering, okay? That's an opportunity to educate them on why that they should do that. Try and automate that education because you don't want to spend a lot of your time doing it, okay? Now, that's one factor. Another factor is money tolerance. We've talked about that before. I'm going to talk about it again. Very important, right? It's like goalposts. You've got an upper and a lower limit of money tolerance, okay? How much is this is dumb and I'm not charging anything below that? And above it is this is a lot of money. I don't know. But both of these are just BS ideas, okay? They're limiting beliefs. They're nonsense. And for me too, okay? They're fake. One number doesn't have real value over another, right? They're just abstract concepts. So, like, what are you going to do about it? You can raise these, you can move them around if you want, if you're conscious about it, right? Go to Amazon and start looking at stuff. If you know your money tolerance is like $5,000, start looking at stuff for $40,000. Start looking at stuff that you could buy for $5,000. Start making a wish list. Get excited about it, right? Keep looking at it. You'll figure out a way. All right. Eventually, it's going to happen. So most people got into a business with unknown money tolerance. They don't know, right? That's keeping them down, right? Because, oh, this is a lot of money. Now, the sales trainer, Jason, is telling you, I've talked to a lot of salespeople and assessed them and helped them on behalf of clients. And most of the time, their money tolerance is between $500 and $2,500. Like if you had to get the money today, that's how much is a lot of money. Certainly below 5,000 for most of them. Okay. And if they're trying to sell a $10,000 program or something more expensive, they're going to screw it up. They're going to find ways to screw it up. Okay. So you're going to watch for that. What is your money tolerance? Have you been honest with yourself about it? Because the first time I ask people how much is a lot of money for you, and they don't know what I'm doing, they give me an answer like $100,000. That is such a lie. Like it's way out there, in the field, right? Like the reality, come on, come back closer. That's where it is, right? You're going to get the money today. How much is a lot of money? Okay. So you got head trash. You've got a haphazard choice of who your customers were. You're looking around at what other people are charging and trying to base what you're charging off that. No, bad. Do not do that. Okay. And having too low prices usually results in you, and I've been this way, 2014, Jason ran into this, split. Your energy split among 30 different clients, and you're so tired because you're trying to take on the responsibility of impacting all of them, and you can't really help any of them all that much. Okay. It's rough. It's rough. It's exhausting. So don't do that. Okay. We want fewer clients, higher prices, more spectacular results. Okay. And raising that money tolerance as you go. Okay. Now, there's a thing called the reticular activating system. It's in your brain. It is doing this. Okay. This is the science behind this. There's millions, like 2 million of bits of data that we could, that's the real number, of data that you could pull in and notice. Most of the time, though, and again, if you watch the episode I did with the forensic criminologist, Dr. Ron Martinelli, about officer-involved shootings and things like that, our focus of vision is about the size of a nickel or a quarter or something like that, right? The rest of it, we think we know, but we're abstracting a lot. We're running on autopilot a lot, okay? So you're actually filtering that 2 million bits of data down to like 200. important things for your survival in the old saber-tooth tiger, in the moment for you to deal with. Okay. So you tell me, well, my ideal customer at the higher price level isn't out there. Lie. Okay. They're standing right there over your shoulder. And I know because I've spiraled up many times and I'm continuing to do it. Right. They're there. You are filtering them out. Your RAS is filtering them out because it's not important to your survival, to the RAS. You have to retrain your RAS. And here's the problem of doing that. If you say, like I did back in 2015, stop talking to the $500 people and start talking to the $4,000 people as a minimum price, right? As an example, your RAS is going to have the equivalent of a conniption fit, heart attack kind of thing. It's going to, I can't see anything. That person's standing right there, but it takes like 2 weeks for your RAS to retrain itself to start filtering in out of the 2 million. That ideal client is part of the 200. Okay. This is the problem. This is why people don't last. And I'll bet nobody's ever explained this to you before. Nobody knows, right? So this is the issue. This is the issue, that your RAS is filtering, and it's filtering based on your money tolerance and your experience and viewpoint and all that, and grinding stuff up and coming up with a little reality, that quarter-sized bit of vision, right? That the forensic criminologist talks about, that you could actually see clearly. Okay. But don't tell me your ideal client isn't out there. You have simply filtered them out. And because it takes like 2 weeks to start filtering them in, that creates panic, right? You're like, yes, I've made the decision. And even if your money tolerance is pretty good and you know that better class of clientele is out there, you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to present yourself. You don't know how to approach them to start filtering them in. And so your RAS goes blank screen, and your mind goes, I can't. I wonder if that'll be the still for the YouTube video. You can't filter. You can't see anything. And so you panic and you go, no, they're not there. And so what I've seen over the years, unfortunately, is many people drop back down to that lower level because that's their comfort zone. That's what they're familiar with. That's what their RAS is trained to show them exists. Okay. And this is the problem with those of you who don't believe in mindset, who don't believe in filters, and are very granularly run, right? Is that you don't understand that this filtering is going on, and that what you're being shown is a tiny fraction of what's available to be seen out there. Okay. Just think about human vision. Okay. We can only see, visible light is a very narrow part of the spectrum, right? There's microwaves and infrared, all this stuff, right? Going up and down the frequency, and we get to see this little bit. Okay. Like, can you imagine if you could see an infrared? That'd be really weird, right? And it would extend out your range of what you can see much farther. It might make you go crazy because you're not ready for it, right? But I'm just pointing that out as an example for stuff that exists. It's genuinely scientifically provable. It's demonstrable that it's there, but you can't see it. Okay. Or sounds that are higher or lower than human ears can hear and brains can interpret, right? There's more going on than we know. And so we have these blinders on. The RAS are your blinders. On that article, there's a wonderful graphic of how the RAS is filtering the world, and then your mental filters in your mind map give you an output filtering it even more. Okay. So I say it in here, I'll bet your ideal customer profile was developed in this very haphazard, reactive, take it as it comes kind of way. Okay. Now you're in a comfort zone, right? Of who you would work for, how you're going to provide value to them. Okay. So you have to find that new profile. You have to find a new language to speak with them, new problems and symptoms to understand. And I understand that's work and that's scary. And then your RAS goes for 2 weeks, like, I can't see it, dude. No, right? Let's go back to the old comfort zone, because that lizard brain is in there going, you got to keep him or her safe. Got to keep him safe, or we're going to die. All right. So this is like a commitment that you have to make. And that's where coaching can come in really handy, especially when the person is already familiar with the target market that you want to go after, that ideal customer. Okay. Leveling up, right? That's why it's good to be around people who are doing better than you, right? We all know that. Maybe it's a myth, maybe not. You're the result of the top 5 people around you or whatever, right? Whatever number it happens to be. But there is truth to that because it rubs off. It shows you what reality is, right? Well, Jason can only do this high, so I can only do this high or whatever, right? That's the average, right, of those 5 friends. No. Right? Elevate, accelerate, right? Get higher with the friends that you've got, the people you're around, the people you're working with, and you will see farther, right? People often go, I was just on a sales call where we talked about this, great business owner, wonderful lady, setting the huge goals, and going, well, how am I going to get there? Like, Jason actually doesn't care how you're going to get there. Setting the goal and committing to it, and then furiously putting into action. Okay, not sitting there wishing, but furiously putting into action. How am I going to get there? Going out, looking under every stone, talking to everyone you can meet who looks like they could help you. Look, this is how committed are you to actually doing that leveling up thing? Okay, which is the topic of this video. Raising your prices, right? If you go out and you talk to enough people, even 20 people will probably give you the answers, right? At least the next couple of steps. And then from then you can get the next couple of steps, right? I've done this so many times myself, right? Learning whole industries from nothing, because that's the way my ENTP system is wired, is to start going out and interviewing people and finding out, right, from the man on the mountain or the woman on the mountain, right, the guru of what to do next. And they'll tell me. And I have full faith, having done it so many times, that it's out there. So I hope that this has been useful. Let me see what my 2021 update was. I don't know. I think I talked about money tolerance, linked to that in that article. If you haven't run into the concept before, it's like a thermometer read of how much is a lot of money on the high end. And on the low end, what is a dumb amount of money that is just not worth me paying attention to? All right. So this has been a discussion on how to raise prices. I hope it was valuable to you. I'll see you next week.